Close your eyes and picture this. 40,000 years ago, in the dense forests of Europe, a Homo sapiens walks out of the trees and into a Neanderthal encampment. What happens next? You'd be surprised to know it wasn't a hostile encounter, and you might be even more shocked to learn that genetically these two ancient humans had more in common than we ever imagined. Let's dive into the surprising facts archaeologists have recently uncovered about our long-lost cousins, the Neanderthals. First of all, they weren't the primitive brutes we've been taught to imagine. Far from it. Neanderthals actually shared something incredibly human with us: blood types. That's right, they had A, B, and the rare rhesus blood type, just like modern humans. At one point, we thought Neanderthals were genetically simple, but this discovery turns that idea on its head. So the next time you donate blood, remember you and a Neanderthal might have been a match. Now here's where things get even more fascinating. Neanderthals and Homo sapiens didn't just live near each other, they interbred a lot. We were genetically mixing so often that, believe it or not, Neanderthal males lost their Y chromosomes entirely to Homo sapiens men. Essentially, our DNA wiped theirs out. It's like we hit copy-paste on our genes and overrode theirs. What this means is that by the time Neanderthals were nearing extinction, the males were carrying human Y chromosomes, not their original Neanderthal ones. But what's even crazier is the lasting impact of these interspecies unions. You might be walking around today with some Neanderthal DNA influencing your skin tone, hair color, or even disease resistance. Yes, those Neanderthal genes that help them survive in harsh Ice Age environments, they're still part of our genetic makeup. You might owe your sun tolerance or your thick, luscious hair to some prehistoric rendezvous between our ancestors and theirs. Let's not forget about Neanderthal mothers, unsung heroes of the prehistoric world. Their babies were born with massive brains that needed to grow quickly, meaning Neanderthal moms had to eat high-protein, high-fat diets just to fuel the production of milk for their brainy toddlers. Imagine trying to keep up with a baby whose brain was growing faster than their chubby little limbs. These moms were essentially running on a prehistoric version of the keto diet, munching on meat to survive and sustain their children. Now, let's talk extinction. Neanderthals were tough. They survived ice ages, hunted dangerous predators, and adapted to some of the most unforgiving environments. But then around 40,000 years ago, nature threw them a curveball, a series of massive volcanic eruptions across Europe and Asia. These weren't just minor eruptions either. They were cataclysmic. The ash from these eruptions wiped out forests, reduced plant life, and left Neanderthals without enough food. While Homo sapiens migrated and adapted, Neanderthal populations dwindled. Imagine surviving for tens of thousands of years, only to be taken out by Mother Nature's ultimate reset button: volcanoes. And that's not the only reason for their extinction. Neanderthals also had a tough time competing with Homo sapiens, not just for resources, but also in terms of social structures and reproduction. While we were more agile and better adapted to changing climates, Neanderthals had higher calorie needs and slower population growth. Their fast-growing babies put a strain on the health of Neanderthal mothers, potentially leading to lower birth rates. But here's the twist. We didn't completely replace Neanderthals. In fact, they left behind a lasting genetic footprint in us. When archaeologists recently examined ancient DNA, they found that 1 to 2% of the genetic material in non-African humans today comes from Neanderthals. That's right, you might carry traits from these ancient humans, from your immune system's ability to fight off diseases, to even how your skin responds to sunlight. And if you're wondering how advanced they really were, Neanderthals weren't just good at surviving, they had culture too. Archaeologists have found evidence that they made tools, controlled fire, and even buried their dead in what seems like ritualistic ways. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving in their own complex societies. And here's something you might not know. Recent studies suggest Neanderthals probably had some form of spoken language. They may not have been writing sonnets, but they definitely communicated on a level much closer to us than anyone ever thought. So, the next time someone cracks a joke about cavemen, remind them that Neanderthals were closer to us than anyone ever expected. Their genes live on in us. Their culture was more sophisticated than we ever imagined, and they survived for tens of thousands of years before volcanic ash and Homo sapiens took the reins. Follow me for more jaw-dropping historical revelations, and let's keep exploring the surprising and sometimes downright shocking truths that history has hidden for so long.